Welcome back to my studio. Today's going to be a little bit different. Today I'm actually going to be taking a piece that's already completed, or I thought was completed, and I'm going to be adjusting it. So this was a piece that I did actually about a year ago. It was a plein air piece in this stained glass style. But my show that's coming up is going to be the first time I'm really going to be featuring a lot of these stained glass pieces with my traditional work. And I've just realized that what would really make the show much more cohesive is if all of these stained glass pieces also have that bright light of the sun emanating from them. So I have two plein air pieces that I did away on a painting trip last year that were just kind of flat light, no light in them. So I'm going to see if I can take both of these and convert them to kind of the sun shining through the stained glass. So stick around with me and we'll see how that works out. Okay, so I've gone in and I've put a sun in this piece right over here. And again, the thought going into this was this piece, I really like this little painting, but it's been kind of kicking around for a year. And people have commented that they liked it, but actually the comment I received a number of times was, oh, I wish there was a little bit of the glow and the sun in it. Because if I'm going to kind of, break out the checkbook or the Visa card and buy one of your paintings, I really would like it to have that light effect. And then I heard that about the other one as well. So sometimes that happens when you've done a piece. And again, for me, these were just pieces that I did away on a painting trip. And that's the first time I've ever done this style in plein air. So I wasn't really expecting anything out of it in terms of product. It was more a process type thing. But in the end, I was really happy with the painting. But I also get that with people that, again, if you're going to buy one of my paintings, you probably want the sun in it, right? If you're going to buy a painting by Robert Bateman, you probably want an animal in it. You're not going to want a painting he's done of a tractor or of something else, because that's what he's known for. And then the other question often becomes like, okay, will that make it a better painting? Because if I don't think it would make it a better painting, then I still wouldn't do it. I'd still just keep the painting, and even if I end up keeping it, and if all it ever goes to is a retrospective show down the road. But when I asked myself the question, would putting that glow in it make it a better, more impactful painting? The answer was yeah, almost certainly. And so that's why I decided. I've been thinking about that for a while with these two. Now the only problem is it makes it much easier if when you start the painting, you plan to do that, because you allow for, you kind of compose the entire painting around the idea that there's going to be that sun glow in there, and that's going to be the center of interest, and everything else goes to support that. So in this case, that wasn't how the painting started out. So that makes it a little trickier in terms of trying, first of all, to figure out a place where you can do it, but then you can't just plunk the glow of the sun in there in this little area, because it's going to have an impact on a lot of other areas of the painting as well. And so that's when I did this one. First of all, there was putting that glow with the sun in here, but then it was making sure that on a lot of these trees that the side facing towards the sun was a little warmer and lighter, and the side facing away from the sun was a little cooler and less intense, so that you've got that bluish side away and the more warm side towards. And then also lightening up all of these tops of these hills where the sun would strike it. But then once that's done, it's like, was it worth it? It's like, yeah. Actually, Diane, my wife, actually commented she likes this piece now better than the big stained glass one I did last month. And that one I thought was kind of the best stained glass one I'd ever done. So to take it from something that was just, oh, that's nice, to her favorite of any of these, that really makes me glad that I did this. So now I'm going to get the second painting that I did. I've also increased the glow in that. So I'll bring that up on the easel and I'll talk about that for a second. Okay, here's the second piece. And again, do I think it really improved the impact of the painting? Yes. So it's kind of a no-brainer for me when that's the situation. Sometimes you have paintings kicking around and they've been there for a while and you think, well, you know, if it hasn't sold, it's probably because it's either not as good as the current level of work that you're doing, or it just doesn't fit into that for some reason. And so I knew that both of these kind of didn't fit because they didn't have the glow of the sun, and that's one of the big things that's kind of become my hallmark. Even as much as my actual signature, this is my signature. And so doing that on both of these pieces, I think it's killed two birds with one stone. It's made them both actually better paintings. They certainly have a little more of a wow factor now. They also have a center of interest, which was kind of lacking before. And I think it also fits into more what my typical clients would be interested in, which is, you know, again, that light effect that I've become known for painting. So when you have these old paintings that are kicking around for a while, at a certain point you have to make a decision about, you know, are you even going to continue to exhibit them? And if not, then what are you going to do with them? And you basically have two choices. If you're not going to continue to exhibit them because they don't kind of meet up to the quality of the work you have now, then those are ones that better just kind of put away in the basement and left for posterity. And again, down the road, when you have a retrospective show, they can come out, and part of their purpose too is to show how far you've come from where you were to where you are now. But the other option that you have is there any point in going in and reworking the piece to bring it up to either the current level or to make it fit more with the current body of work that you're doing? And then it comes down to a kind of time proposition. It's like, how long is it going to take you to do that? And will it be worth the effort? Or would you have been able to create a new painting from scratch? Or actually, as is the case of both of these pieces, do you really like them? And it's like, I do really like both of these pieces. And I also like the fact that they were my first two plein air pieces done in this stained glass style. So for me, it was probably about 4 hours on this one to bring the glow in, and about 3 hours on the other one, which is actually about how long it took me to do the paintings in the first place. But I am really happy that I did it. This one took a little more time because we also have kind of that light impact down here on what's suggestive of water. So there was not only doing the area of the glow, but a lot of work in the rest of the painting to make it kind of relate to that. So I'll show you before and afters of both of these pieces. So let's start with this one. And for me, it's not even a question. Yes, this is a more impactful painting now. It's a little brighter and cheerier, which you all know that's me, and that's how I like to paint. But again, that glow of the sun just really, it just kind of, there's something about that reaches out and grabs you. And then we'll go to the smaller, the 18 by 18. And if we look at the original painting, it was still a really good little painting. I really like that piece always. But there's just no doubt that putting that little extra in there has just taken it to the next level. And so also because of the fact that I'm having my show in August, and it's going to be the first time that I actually I'm going to be exhibiting. I've had some of these exhibited at galleries before, but just as an afterthought, there might be one or two of these. But this show is going to focus on having, a serious number of this type of work as well as my traditional type of work. And I want every single example of this type of work to be the absolute best it can be. So that's another reason why at this time it made sense for me to go in and rework these. So that's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed this. As always, if you have, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Share it with your friends. I welcome your comments and questions. And as always, I thank you for your time. I'm Tim Packer.